Imagine walking through a fortress built on 1,000 years of betrayal, bloodshed, and sorrow. A place where kings were murdered, queens were executed, and prisoners spent their final, terrifying moments. This is the Tower of London, one of the most infamous and allegedly haunted locations in the entire world. But are the countless ghost stories real? Or are they simply legends born from centuries of fear and brutality? Let's find out. The story begins in the 11th century, when William the Conqueror built this imposing fortress to dominate London and solidify his rule. Over the next 1,000 years, its role would change dramatically. It was a grand royal palace, a secure vault for the crown jewels, and a menagerie filled with exotic animals. But its most sinister purpose was as a fearsome prison, a torture chamber, and the site of countless executions. With every stone in these ancient walls seemingly soaked in suffering, it is no surprise that the tower has become home to some of the most chilling ghost stories in history. Of all the spirits said to roam these grounds, the most famous is undoubtedly Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated second wife of King Henry VIII. Accused of treason and adultery, she was beheaded on Tower Green in 1536. 4 centuries. Visitors and guards have reported seeing her spectral figure walking the grounds of the tower, sometimes carrying her own severed head. Her ghost is said to glide silently through the chapel of St. Peter at Vincula, where her body is buried, a tragic reminder of her brutal end. Then there is the heartbreaking tale of the princes in the tower. The 2 young sons of King Edward IV, Edward and Richard, were sent to the tower in 1483 for their own protection after their father's death, but they were never seen again. They simply vanished. Most historians believe they were murdered on the orders of their uncle, Richard III, to secure his path to the throne. To this day, people claim to see their spirits do small, frightened figures dressed in white nightgowns, holding hands and wandering the corridors of the bloody tower before fading into the stone walls. Their faint whimpers are sometimes heard, echoing through the empty rooms where they spent their last days. But the royal ghosts aren't the only ones. There is the mysterious White Lady, a spectral figure seen waving from the windows of the White Tower, the oldest part of the fortress. Guards have claimed the air turns icy cold just moments before she appears, and some say she is the lingering spirit of a long-lost prisoner, still waiting for a release that will never come. In the Bloody Tower, visitors often report unsettling sensations. They hear disembodied screams, whispered prayers, and footsteps that seem to follow them through empty chambers. In the Salt Tower, the walls tell their own grim story. Medieval graffiti and desperate scratch marks from prisoners are etched into the stone, a permanent testament to their suffering. It's as if their despair has been physically imprinted onto the building itself, a psychic stain that time cannot erase. These are just a few of the tales that make up the haunting version of the tower's history. But what do the skeptics say? They argue that these stories have been amplified and embellished over time, largely because the tower is one of the most visited tourist sites in the world. Many of the most dramatic sightings come from accounts that are centuries old, passed down as thrilling legends rather than documented, verifiable facts. The tower's very atmosphere, with its dark, cold stone, low ceilings, and narrow, winding corridors, is a perfect breeding ground for fear. It can easily trick the mind, creating illusions and heightened emotions that make a shadow seem like a ghostly figure or a gust of wind sound like a whisper. Historians also point out that some of the most popular ghost stories were exaggerated by Victorian-era guides, who knew exactly how to thrill their audiences. They weren't just sharing history, they were selling an experience. Others believe the tower's dark past naturally inspires these haunting tales. When you stand in a place where so much tragedy occurred, it's easy to imagine that something of that pain must remain, even if nothing truly supernatural is happening. The weight of history is so heavy here that it creates its own ghosts in our minds. And yet, even today, the Yeoman Warders, the tower's official guards who live within its walls, will admit they witnessed unexplainable things. They speak of locked doors rattling, strange lights in empty rooms, and an overwhelming sense of being watched when they are completely alone. These are modern accounts from sober, reliable witnesses who know the tower better than anyone. So, we are left with 2 compelling possibilities. The first is that the Tower of London is a place truly haunted by the restless spirits of those who suffered and died within its walls. their souls trapped for eternity. The second is that it is simply a fortress where the history is so dark, so heavy, that it continues to echo through the stones, creating its own powerful legends. So, is the Tower of London truly haunted? Or is it haunted by history itself? Which truth do you believe? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the world's greatest mysteries. Thanks for watching.